Remember one thing. Any action, any step, any good word, anything which is done for the sake of Sayyid al-Shuhada, understanding who Sayyid al-Shuhada is, the reward is more than you can ever imagine. As these nights have gone by, you would have noticed inside of you that there is a change, that there is a softness, and that there is a movement. Your faith would have increased by now, and your heart would have been softened by now. These are just some of the very few miracles which take place because of Sayyid al-Shuhada. So therefore, any action, even a step that's taken, Sayyid al-Shuhada doesn't hold a debt on his shoulders. For whatever you do, if you truly understand who you're doing it for, in fact, let me take those words back. Even if you have a minor understanding of who this son of Zahra is, it's sufficient for you that this world and the hereafter is yours. You know, they say, Kamil al-Ziyarat. Every step that's taken in the way of Sayyid al-Shuhada, the reward is 1,000 Hajj, 1,000 Umrah. Now this is not me who's saying it. This is your Prophet who's speaking to Salama. There's another tradition that says he's speaking to Aisha, where he's saying every step that's taken, Hajj, which is Maqbool, which is with me, Umrah, 1,000, 1,000. Question is asked, and you've heard this before, but I want to explain it again now. You know why? Because as these nights go on, your ma'rifah potentially increases. The very same hadith which we recite on the 1st of Muharram, by the 8th or 9th you have a different understanding of it. If only you've worked on your heart. Of that, Hussain is saying he didn't want to fight. And what is the biggest dalil that he didn't want to fight? He took his children with him. And by taking his children, he showed the world they're oppressors. If someone can turn around today and say that we accidentally killed a child, then tell me, you accidentally killed Qasim, you accidentally killed Ali Asghar, you accidentally killed Aun and Muhammad, and then you accidentally cut their heads, and you accidentally raised them on a spear. And if that's all accidental, then let me ask you a question then. What about those small girls? You accidentally beat them, you accidentally scarred them, they accidentally died. Tell me, for those people who say that it was a war between two princes, tell me, where's the truth in that? How can you accidentally exterminate the entire progeny of Fatima and then say that Yazid is correct? Your Islam and our Islam is completely different. Question is this though, where are they today? What is the method of Imam Hussain? The method of Imam Hussain is the method of Imam Zain al-Abidin, and the method of Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, and the method of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, and the method of Imam Musa al-Kadhim, alayhi as-salam. Method of each one of them. What is that method? You begin by purifying people's hearts. You begin by capturing people's hearts. You create a revolution to revolve. Revolve what? Revolve people's heart. Inqalab. What? Qalaba what? Where does it go back to? Qalb. You change the heart of the people, everything else takes form of itself. What is the method of the 12th Imam? What was sahib dawat nabawiyya? He comes forward and he gives da'wah to people, introduces people, brings people in the way that the Prophet did. What is the Prophet's methodology? Through rahmah, through mercy. What are the methods of the Prophets? What did Nabi Isa do? Washed the feet of people, washed the hands of people, looked after those people who are oppressed. What did the Prophet do? The first thing in Mecca he does is he takes care of those people who are oppressed. Today we have it the other way around. We try and attract those people who are rich to come. If you want to make a difference, you want to grab people who are rich. You want to grab somebody who you think is a mover and shaker. That's never been the methodology of prophets. They do it the other way around. They take the most impoverished and nurture them and they bring them to the top. Look in Karbala and see. Half of those people who are there, they weren't well-to-do people. They were those people who Sayyid al-Shuhada brought forward and said, they may not think you're something, but I think you're something. My Allah thinks you're something. And until the day of judgment, when people come and do my ziyarah, they're going to be doing your ziyarah as well. What is our responsibility? In the name of Hussain, who revived Allah's deen. Remember, Allah's giving you a formula. The one who can revive the deen of Allah can revive the deen of Allah now as well. In the name of Imam Hussain, make a step, take a step, go forward, feed people. We're not living in worse times than the fifth Imam was. You're not being exterminated. Your children are not being killed. From the blood of Hassani Sayyids, Baghdad was created. The Qudama said it's makruh to live in Baghdad. Why? In the time of the Abbasis, the walls, they were plastered, Hassani Sayyids were. An extermination process took place. Awlad al-Zahra were killed wherever you found them. Why do you think Imam al-Rida in 4 years says to the Sa'ada, leave, go as far as you can? Why do you think they're from the tips of Spain all the way down to Indonesia? Because they ran away from oppression. They went wherever in the world they could do because they were being killed. The Ahlul Bayt are not restricted to one place. Try say Ya Abbas now and you see. It's not restricted to one place. When you go and your parents teach you to go under that alam, whether you're in Karbala or you're in Winnipeg, the power of that alam is the power of the alam. So look at our imams. In the most period of time where there was the most oppression, they had a four-pronged methodology. I can't speak any more open than this. What I'm saying, analyze it, write it down, go home, think on it. Your entire philosophy of survival of the last 1400 years is what I'm about to say. And as many things, it will take much longer if we were to expand and talk about it. But within the time frame we have, I'm going to mention it to you and I'm going to move on. For those who grab it, grab it. For those who don't, you don't. What did Imam Zain al-Abidin do? You know the first thing he did? He developed networks. Networks, private networks, all over the Islamic world, where he could teach people three things. Ilm, ma'rifah. Now what's ilm? Ilm is what you have it. I don't need to explain it. Ilm of the deen and ilm of the dunya. Ma'rifah. Ma'rifah is to do with the spiritual travel. Taught you spiritual travel, taught you spiritual practice. But at the same time, pragmatically, he made sure that the community was firm. And at the same time as well, he made sure of another thing. And that was that this community wasn't going to be targeted after Karbala. Fifth Imam, the same thing. Sixth Imam, the same thing. On the point of the ninth Imam, Ghaibat-e Sughra essentially begins. Where the Imam, automatically three of our Imams essentially go into occultation. And they devolve into their networks. Why do you think that a government or a group like the Fatimids was successful? Because even before secret societies were founded, they had their own secret societies. The second responsibility of the Imam was this: to teach people ma'rifah. In this day and age, how do we do this? This is how we do it. Look, first thing is this: Hadith Qissa. Why is Hadith Qissa important? Hadith Qissa, in and of itself, was brought down and given nisbah to Zahra. Anything that's given nisbah to Zahra is the fastest methodology of acceptance. As I've said before, when Ayatollah Tabrizi's 40th came, and ulama were discussing whether the sanad is weak or not, Ayatollah Bahjat walked in and said, read Hadith Qissa. Ayatollah Bahuddiniya said, from the four things another that you should do when you're falling into a problem, one of them is to recite Hadith Qissa. Second is what? Second is tawassul. Take tawassul of Ahlul Bayt. Other students, Kamilin. And within this line, Kamilin, their job was really to help people on this pathway. Now you can ask me a question. Well, today, there's nobody around. What do we do? After Ayatollah Bahjat, all of those students from the line of Qadi have disappeared. Yes, maybe there was somebody in Najaf. Sheikh Abd, he's passed away now. And there's a second as well, which people most probably don't know about, nor am I going to mention his name until they don't declare it themselves. But the fact of the matter is this. People can say, well, people like that are not around anymore. You don't need people like that to come in front of your face. You have to build yourself so that the 12th Imam sends people to you. If you work on yourself, everything will open up. Remember one thing, you are not separated from your Imam. You are not separated from Sayyid al-Shuhada. Dhikrullah. If you were to ask me what the best dhikr is, the best dhikr without any awarith is salawat. And this is the power of salawat. And we've got to continue to do it. Remember, you know what you're doing. With salawat, you're removing hurdles. You're removing hurdles in you. What are you doing? You're saying to Rasulullah, you're giving him salawat and salam. You pray for Rasulullah, you think he's not going to come and pray for you? He's not going to come and pray for your family? Focus on what you're saying. This is why they say some people say Bismillah and others say Bismillah and they walk over water. For example, why? Ma'rifah of what you're saying. Bismillah in and of itself contains Isma A'zam. Second dhikr, remember this always, Sajda Yunasiyah. Sajda Yunasiyah is very powerful. Recite Sajda Yunasiyah. Why? What is it? La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minal zalimin. Go into sajda. If you ever get an opportunity, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, 50 times. Recite it a couple of times. Why is that important? They say that if you want your hijab to open from your eyes, dhikr yunasiyah for 40 days. You recite it a particular amount of times, you'll see your hijab opens. Hujab begin to open. Haqiqah begins to reflect inside of you. Akhlaq begins to become kamil. Final thing is this though. There's one more thing the Imam taught us. You know what that is? Service to other people. Today, Shias must be recognized for their service, for their kindness, for their giving. And we have to give unconditionally without wanting anything back. And that's what will make the difference. That when we give unconditionally, without wanting anything back. Study hard. Ma'rifah, tawassul of the Ahlul Bayt. Especially introduce into your house once a month, I'm saying. Okay, not even once a week, once a month. 12 months of the year for every Imam do tawassul of Khaja Nasiruddin al-Tusi. You'll see balas removed from your life. Afata removed from your life. Peace comes into your heart. And then dhikr, recite salawats, recite istighfar. Don't you remember when